Okay guys, so welcome back to the main channel. The reason I'm bending over is so that I can get all of these delicious camera items and accessories and stuff in this shot right now using the 10-18 by Canon, but I'll be talking more about that very soon in this video. These are all of my little babies that I use for photography and videography pretty much on a daily basis. So let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so this is my first baby, my absolute joy that I literally bought this like a week and a half ago. I am absolutely in love. This is the Sony a7S Mark II, and this thing is an absolute beast. Now this thing alone shoots at 1080p at 60 frames per second when you just put it up just a little bit. It also shoots 1080p at 60 iframe, which is a little bit different. I won't get into that just with you. For this video, I'm going to be talking about that in a different video. But even just the straight form factor of this camera, it is durable as all hell. It has an incredible grip to it. Everything about it screams good camera. Now on this we have the 28-70 lens, which is an absolute beast as well. A very good beginner's lens. It is a 3.5 to 5.6 and it does incredibly well when you bump up the ISO if you have to 25,600, which is incredible, or you take your ISO all the way down to 50 on an automatic setting, on a manual setting, which you can change it to, which is also incredible. On top of that, I'd like to point out that this is the actual screen. It doesn't flip out like the 70D that I'm using to shoot this does. However, it does do this, which is perfect because when I'm looking above, I can tilt it like this and look straight down and get the proper shot that I want without actually having to look in the viewfinder or hold it like this to my face so I can get the shot that I want to at a different perspective than what I'd be usually able to do with some other cameras that don't either flip out, like the screen doesn't move, it's a fixed screen, or they flip out a little bit differently and you can't get the same angle that you want. Another really awesome thing that I like about this camera is the fact that when you get close to the viewfinder, it switches between the viewfinder and the LCD. So there's a little sensor right here above the viewfinder that when you get close enough, you're about 6 inches away, it switches to viewing through the viewfinder, and then when you move back a little further, it switches back to the LCD, which is a very nice touch that Sony put into that. Okay, so in front of me now I have this camera, which is the Canon 70D. We got this about 2.5 years ago. It has been an awesome family camera ever since. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this because this has been my daily driver essentially before I got what I am shooting on right now, which is absolutely beautiful quality. I wonder if you can tell the difference. Like I don't know now, but when I go back and edit, I'll be able to tell the difference between this, and I might do a comparison video. That's for a later date, but this is the Canon 70D. So on this camera right now we have the 10-18mm lens, like I was saying before. This is a beast when you are shooting wide angle shots. I absolutely love this lens. And let's get to the other lenses I also have. Not one, but two other lenses for this camera specifically. Now, the reason I have two other lenses is because my mom has always been a huge supporter of Canon, and it's not to say that I am not a supporter of Canon. However, I am enjoying my Sony a7S Mark II, sorry, a7 Mark II more than I've enjoyed this for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the reasons being that I mentioned that the 1080p at 60 frames, it takes better photos because it is also a mirrorless camera and a lot of low light and high exposures as well. So this was the original stock lens that my mom got on the first, like one of the first Canon D models that they ever came out with. So my mom had this is the stock 18 to 55 millimeter lens, which is perfect for when you're coming from wide angle and you're getting into more portrait photography. So the basically 35 to 85 is like a portrait photography. It's a standard focal length of a lens. And of course this is our beautiful telephoto 75 to 300 millimeter lens. The only downside that I have to say between the A7 Mark II and this does not have stabilization built in. That has image stabilization built in. This lens has image stabilization, but these lenses do not. And for any of you that might know what I'm talking about, it makes a huge difference because you want both, not one or the other. When you have a camera that is stabilized and the lens is not, that's okay, but if the camera is not stabilized and the lens is, it's basically a dud. There's no point in having stabilization in a lens and not the camera, but it's good having it the other way around depending on what you are shooting. Now this is my Sony a5000, which is a very small and compact camera. You're probably thinking to yourself, Sander, why do you have this? This right here has filmed almost every single vlog that is on my vlog channel. This is an absolute awesome camera to have. I can hold it like this, it could be talking, it could be vlogging, I can do some nice cinematic shots if I really want to, all that kind of stuff, and it weighs nothing. It weighs absolutely nothing, and this literally fits in your pocket, which is the most amazing part about the whole thing, is you take off the lens, you put a lens cap on it, and you put a back on it to cover the sensor. This fits in your pocket. It is not thick without the lens. This is also a crop sensor, a micro four thirds, but it is a very, like, look how thin that is. That is insane. And it's not to say that you couldn't also put, so this is the stock lens that came with it as well. You can put other lenses on it, which is amazing because the beast of a lens, not the beast, but the bigger lens that I have on my A7 Mark II, I can actually put, because it is the same mount, I can strap it on this and do some awesome photography or awesome cinematography if I really wanted to with this little guy. And I can take these two cameras, switch in and out the lenses, and do some awesome stuff. This is also image stabilized as well, which is perfect. However, it does not shoot 1080p at 60 frames. That's when you get up to the A6000, A6300, and A6500, which all do 1080p at 60 frames and 4K at 30 frames as well. So those are my cameras and some of the external lenses that I have for the 70D as well. Let's get into my accessories. So these two tripods right here are amazing. These are some of the, well, these are the two like bendy tripods and stuff that I have if I'm doing vlogging or if I need to grip something. These are fantastic. Now, these look exactly like GorillaPods, however they are not. These were $5 on Amazon when I got them about a year and a half ago. And they have never dropped anything, they've ever bent, they're not worn out enough. Like this has a little bit of yellowing on it because I've used it so much. Every now and then these little things will pop out just because they are cheap. Like it's not a alternative to a GorillaPod, however, it is a cheaper version of a GorillaPod. But I would not recommend using, like my A7 Mark II is risky if I wanted to set that up somewhere. Like it is a heavier camera. I'm not going to try to risk that and drop it, or this breaks and I mess up my camera completely, break the sensor or something, or break the lens or anything like that. Not necessarily worth it. If you're using a big camera and a big setup to vlog, I highly recommend that you actually spend the money and go and buy a GorillaPod, buy a really, really good one. It is worth the investment because I guarantee you it will not drop your very, very expensive camera. And the same goes with the 70D, also a very heavy camera. I would not recommend using one of these. However, with my A5000, these are perfect and I can grip them to anything and the camera weighs like the same amount as this does. So these are perfect and you can throw them in your bag, you can take them anywhere. Amazing. Now, let's talk a little bit about storage. Now, this is my Passport. Literally, it's called My Passport from Western Digital. This is perfect. This is a terabyte drive. It's got a little cable that is in my backpack right now. Perfect, fast. It works with my Mac. Like, it is a very, very good driver. It was $80 Canadian when I got it, which is pretty good. You can usually find deals on stuff like this. Like, I was just looking in the Best Buy catalog. You always are able to find deals on hard drives and stuff, so as you can get the best deal and the biggest capacity for your money, then go for it, because I have every single photo I've ever taken saved on this drive right here, along with videos and stuff that I've made, so I highly recommend it to you guys. Second, we have just simple USBs. This is a 16 gigabyte Lexar memory stick that I just carry around with me. This is a 3.0. The read and write speeds aren't the best, so I wouldn't be exporting like gigabyte files onto this. I wouldn't be able to write fast enough, but it is good if you want to just store small files and stuff like that, and I store pictures every now and then as a secondary backup on this device. Second USB that I have, this is also a 3.0. However, this model is incredibly fast. Read and write speeds are about 350 each, 350 megabytes per second, which is pretty good. My 1 terabyte hard drive doesn't even do them that fast. This is a 128 gigabyte, and when I got this on sale for a crazy deal of like $25 or something Canadian, which is like $18 US, which is insane for a 128 gigabyte drive. I put all my main photos on here. I don't put any video on here unless I really, really want to be able to carry this. But obviously, you guys know USB, throw it in my pocket anytime, anywhere, and get to it and record anything, essentially. I put this, I can plug this into anything and it works perfectly, and it is fast as all hell. Final thing I want to talk about, this is the memory card that I'm using in this camera that I'm filming with and that I use. I have a backup as well. This is just a 32 gigabyte Lexar Professional memory card. I highly recommend this if you are shooting in 4K or 1080p at 60 frames. This will do the job that you need it to. It's 100 megabyte write speed, which is perfect, and the transfer speeds are the exact same as well. I highly recommend this. This has been a beast to me. I've used these for 3 years now, this like exact card, and it has never failed once, never failed to connect to anything. And so I highly recommend this card if you were in the market looking for a really, really good, but also a good price for a SD card. Now, finally, I want to talk about two other things that you wouldn't necessarily talk about when you were putting together an equipment bag. Now, these are portable chargers. One is from Aukey, and one is from... Great question. TP-Link. Makes sense. Okay, so these are amazing, and I have this one in my bag every single day when I go to school because iPhone batteries suck, and I always need to charge my phone for whatever reason because I listen to music so much. This is a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, and this is a 12,000 milliamp hour battery. This charges my phone about 10 times, and I never get down to zero, so it's pretty much 10 times when it gets to full. And this does it about like 5 times. So they are fantastic, and it's amazing because this camera and my A5000 are able to charge from these. So I could be using this and I could be shooting a day-long video, and if I need power right away, I can plug the camera right into these and still use my camera while it is still charging, which is the best feature that Sony put into their cameras. I love it, and so these two will do that and will give me enough power so I can keep recording as well as charge something else if I need to, because they both have a second charging bay. Now I want to talk about this one very briefly, and I'm going to leave all the links in the description for all of these items. This one's amazing because of 2 reasons. Now it's got 2 quick charge functions, so these are USB 3.0, they charge fast, they're fantastic, it has a huge capacity for battery, On top of that, you can not only charge this with a micro USB, but you can also charge it with a lightning cable if that's all you have. If all you have is a lightning cable on you at the time, it does give you that option right there to actually charge with that, which is incredibly rare when it comes to things like this. I have never seen that before in an external battery. And I love this so much so that we got my mom the 30,000 milliamp hour version of this, which is even more of a beast than this one is, and I absolutely love it and would not trade any of these for the world. They are incredible, and I honestly don't know what I would do without these portable batteries. Okay guys, so I hope you have enjoyed the video for today, banging out every single video as much as I possibly can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did like the tutorial, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up. Sorry, not a tutorial. If you liked my gear review and some of the stuff that I have and all of that, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And of course, make sure to like, subscribe, and have fun, guys. I will see you in the next video. Never know what's coming next. See you guys.